Hi guys and welcome back to Christian Cast. So I built bait so you don't have to. Today we are gonna do a little bit of something completely different. I'm gonna be working with some reds and purples, and I'm not too sure how the lure itself will turn out yet, but we'll see. And as we go along, we'll maybe change up a bit, add some other colors, and I'm really interested to see if the bright red actually can work on a lure as I think it could. Maybe we'll be darkening it down with some other colors, and we'll be doing another swim bait. I am now really quite happy. I'm still going to change the 3D print itself a bit before I release the STL files because as you see with the joint you have to actually drill a hole through here that you can mount it, and I would actually like to add a little bit of a small hole already in the 3D print because one really struggles when drilling, that it keeps straight, that you have the tolerances for the joint itself, and that's one of the biggest struggles when I actually create the bait itself. So I'm going to be adding the holes along the bait, and then we'll pretty much set it off for everybody to try it who would like. So if you would be interested yourself, then maybe leave a comment, tell me if you actually mind drilling it yourself, or if you would also like the file to be a bit worked over still. And I'll straight away set you guys up and we'll start grounding the bait and see what we end up with today. So let's get started. Welcome to the desk. And as we all know, first step will be grounding the bait with some white. There we go. Now we'll let that dry, and then we'll straight away start with a very strong color, red, and we'll see how it goes. Well, the next color is going to be some bright red, and we're going to go over the top, just like that. There we go. Now we'll set that off, and then we'll start adding a little bit of purple, and we'll darken the top down with some blue in the one of the last steps before we will still be adding a golden lateral line. So keep tuned if you could imagine how the lure looks and we'll see. We have loaded our purple, and we'll straight away go ahead and grab our lure and go over the top from further away and just darken down a little bit, just like that, and then we'll So the next color is going to be some metallic purple before adding a golden lateral line. So the metallic purple is in the airbrush and ready. Now we'll go ahead, just add a nice line down the middle. like that. So we've got that on. Gives us a little bit of a shimmer and otherwise not too much. And now we'll still be adding a little bit of gold and go over the entire side that we get a little bit of more glitter on, and then we'll darken down the top and we'll be ready for scales. So we've got our golden, and now we'll go ahead and just go down the middle. Like that. Now we're gonna get the blue loaded, go over the top, and then we'll put on the scales, and we'll be quite heavy with the scales today because there's a lot of color going underneath, and really to not be too bright, we'll first go over with a little bit of white and then put on some silver. So the blue is in. Now we'll grab our bait, clean up the overspray. So I'm not too sure what I should hold of this paint scheme yet. The gold doesn't fit too well into the whole thing. It's a bit much, but we'll see how it turns out under the scales. Yeah, we'll see. So now we will set that off to dry and get everything ready for the scales, and then we're going to start with the scale pattern. And because I don't like the paint so much that I added, we're going to really go heavy on it and see if we can actually fix it a bit. I prepared everything for the scales. Now we have put in our white, and we're just going to go over and really get it quite strongly. That's going to be the first layer of our scales today. And now we are just going to change up a little bit, put in some silver, and then we'll see how much the colors come out from beneath once we reveal the scale pattern. So we've got the silver in, and now we're just going to go very roughly from the side. That's gonna be that. Let's unpack our lure and see what we're working with. So it's quite a aggressive scale pattern today, but it's not that bad. I thought it would be worse. It's not my favorite lure. I'm not too sure how I like the combination of red and blues, but we'll see how it turns out. and that is pretty much what we're gonna be working with. So let's set this all off and get some eyes on. So I thought to bring in the blue a bit more. We're gonna go with some blue eyes today, and that was too much super glue. But nothing we can't fix. I find the eye often fixes quite a lot and makes the lure look a lot better than it actually does. So, at least something. So we've got our eye on, and as I said, it often helps with the whole bait. So now I'll get everything ready for the clear coat, and then I'm really interested to see if this lure actually catches anything. Well, as most of you anyway know this process already, we're just gonna look at it under a first little coat that you can see how the scales and everything turn out. So it is quite a mix-up today, but I'll get the clear coat done and we'll see each other in a outro where I will show you guys the entire finished bait as it is. Hi guys, and welcome back to the outro. Today's bait is finished and the joint is really cool and worked well. I don't know if you guys get a good look at the paint scheme today. I'm not too happy with it. The colors don't quite play as I wanted them to. It's a little bit for me the Fiat Multiple of baits. So if you guys know what I mean. And I think the action is still going to be good, and I'm pretty sure that we are still going to be able to land something with this bait, although it is not too perfect. And thanks again for tuning in. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me and I'll try to answer them as soon as possible, and we'll see each other for the next video. So I wish you guys a great one. Cheers.